and it's 2 o'clock, so it's time for bats. I've gone up back onto the shelf this week because I felt a little bit low down on the other one. So I've managed to arrange the camera so that I've not got the cactus on centre stage. So how are you all? Are you all fair to middling this afternoon? Are you all coping with the sunshine? Sunshine is back with us. The weather forecast for this week is sunny all the way through. Sunny, much like the lid of this toxic waste, which we shall come on to later today. What do I let myself in for? I promised you toxic waste, and we shall do that for the finale. Number 1, how can you follow it? Number 2, I might need to go and get first aid for my mouth. So, are you ready? Say it once and say it loud. We are bats and we are proud. That's Terry's saying that. I think that needs a round of applause. That does, Terry. And we are bats, of course, because we all have a brew at 2 mug, which gets you a place on the Batmap. If you want a brew at 2 mug, the link to buy it is in the description below. And as I'm saying that, I'm seeing Kevin just as a short trooper. If you didn't see my husband, who sits down there at the back of the computer, last week dressed up as a short trooper, here he is. You missed a treat. You need to watch it back on replay because it was so funny. As you can see, there's no comedy show from Kevin this week, but we will endeavour to get something else quite hilarious from Captain Kevin in the future. Can you hear me? This has been promoted, our captain. So, before we get on any further, the one thing that I ask all of you to do is to tell all your friends to sign up for our email newsletter. It's gone out this morning, and we send a Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter out every week. And the other thing, well, I'm lying, aren't I? 2 things that you need to do. Tell all your friends. Tell all your friends to subscribe, because we've got quite a few new followers this week.
Told all mine and he still hasn't done it.
Did you get that? He says, I told all mine and he still hasn't done it. In other words, he's only got one friend. Wendy says, oh yes, Wendy, shout out to the fabulous comedy station. Yes, absolutely, Wendy. That should be on my list of shout outs, and I'm just wondering why. Oh, it's a good job you reminded me. Wash my mouth out. Oh, that's terrible. Wendy emailed me last week and asked me to give a shout out for the comedy station. Now, if you think where Boots is on Bankhead Street, it's on the right hand side of that, and you go down into it, and it's a little private business, run by just some people who are very funny.
Where is it?
Next to Boots.
Next to Boots, and you just go down.
You just go down the stairs.
Just go down the stairs and then you're laughing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh God. I did say after last week's Short Trooper episode that perhaps if they're short of comics, they could enroll Kevin, but frankly after that, I don't think I'd bother Wendy. I don't think I'd bother. So, what have I got on my list? Right, I'm going to start the show this afternoon with a little complaint. We've been out this morning. We've been out doing our town centre volunteering, and I must admit, I haven't been going to the, that'll be the supermarket. I don't normally go to the town centre cleanups, but as we've resumed, I've made it my mission to go and join in with the nice things. Hi, Elaine. So there I was, with my rubber gloves on, with my marigolds on, cleaning the grotty signboard in the town centre, which was very dirty and needed it, when this woman came striding across the road to me to find out whether I was Jane and would I get the bollards shifted. When am I going to get them moved because they've been put there because of me? Well, I was flabbergasted. So I drew myself up to my full 5'6", and I explained the error of her ways. So I've calmed down now, you'll be pleased to know. But let's put it this way: it's not how we normally carry on in Cleveleys. So I wasn't very impressed. We've got a full gang here today, haven't we? It's lovely to see everybody. So anyway, that leads me nicely on to something that I got yesterday when I was in Blackpool. Did you see our live video yesterday in Blackpool? Quite often though, I've sort of ended up with a range of different topics. So quite often I will, while I'm out doing something else, I will. Were you watching, Terry? I quite often go out and do a live as well at the same time, because it's quite interesting just walking through the streets. No subject, no particular agenda. So while I was out yesterday morning, I popped into the British Heart Foundation shop in Blackpool, which is straight across from Marks and Spencer's, near where the pedestrianised bit is on Church Street. And while I was paying, I noticed on the desk they'd got a box of mood rings, and I'm anybody's for a bit of something a bit strange. So I bought one. Now these little rings, that's the biggest one that they've got in the box, and these little rings were £1.99. So I thought, well, if it does nothing else, it'll put £2 into the coffers at the British Heart Foundation. So when I picked it up to buy it, it was black, and as I put it on, it's changed to sort of blues and purples and greens. At the moment it's purple, and I think I've failed actually, because I'm not quite sure what I've done with the little, there's a little leaflet that came with it that told you what the colours meant, and I don't know where I've put it. But I'm intrigued about how they work, because I dunked it in my cup of tea expecting it to change colour completely, and it went black. So then I ran it under the cold tap, and it went black. But yeah, when I googled it, it said that it's got things inside it that the molecules twist when they're affected by temperature, so they change colour. So if you find out how they work, let me know, and I'll tell you whether it changes again before we get to the end of the show. You can just see, look, it's purple. It's quite pretty actually for £2. So there you go. More drinks. Right. Oh, and our Chris has been in the wars again this week. I don't think I told you, did I, last week, that she'd taken a tumble. The part of the problem is that she's got quite a big bath, and she's quite little. She's got bad knees and bad shoulders. So just a minute. Tina says, can I tell Sue Miles in London, Ontario, we have finally got the go-ahead to move from Scotland to Cleveleys next Friday the 28th. Wow, that's fab, Tina. We've got the sunshine booked for you. Yeah, so she went and tripped and sort of fell and banged her side here in her ribs. And then she went and did it again the other day and banged it at the side on the same side on Saturday morning, and apparently it all went black when she fell. So imagine, I think she must have been on the point of passing out. So I've told her that I'm going to wrap her up in bubble wrap, and I don't know whether you can actually see it from there, but there is a huge roll of bubble wrap down there on the floor that we use for wrapping our Seaside Emporium stuff up in. But all being well, we might sachet out for cake and coffee tomorrow on our cake crew. So watch this space. There might be a new video. So next up on my agenda of reminders to remember me is get well soon messages. So I think I'll send a get well soon message to my darling mother. So get well soon, Chrissy. Because that's the only one. That's the only one I've got for today. Which brings me nicely to jokes. Now, Wendy seems to think that Kevin and I would make a good double act on the stage at the comedy club in Blackpool. I don't actually think we would, Wendy, because, well, the thought of standing on a stage and doing a comedy act is, well, oh, it leaves me cold. Actually, I have just gone a bit cold because he's got the door down. Oh, no, so I think we might pass on that for the time being. I'll send Kevin on his own. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Anyway, you all enjoyed the show Trooper last week. Like I said, if you want to watch that, you need to watch it on replay before it ends up disappearing. But I do have some jokes for you today, so are you ready? John sent a few. Yes, exactly, Mark. Someone stole my mud ring and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Somebody else has just said that we're the new Laurel and Hardy, and I don't think either of us are thin enough for... I think it was Laurel, Stan Laurel, weren't it, that was the thin one. So, are you ready? How do you get a baby astronaut to sleep? You rock it. Oh, dear me. What do you call a donkey with one leg? A wonky donkey. What did Bob Marley say when his wife left him and took the TV? Think about it. No woman, no sky. At which point I started trying to sing the song. I'll not sing it for you. And I couldn't remember what the actual words were. Can I say hello to Russell and Helen? Hi, Russell and Helen. Right, are you ready? This is a funny one. My friend Elaine Smith had sent some COVID information out today to a mailing list, and she usually puts something funny on it. It got all sorts of smiles from Elaine. So she sent a good one out today, so I replied on the email and I put, that's perfect for you know what. So are you ready? Now you need to listen and concentrate on this, because I didn't. I looked at it and I went, and then I worked it out. A gynecologist had spent some years in the profession and decided that he needed a change. After looking around, he decided to take up motor mechanics and took himself off to learn the ropes. He did extremely well, topping all his classes, both in theory and the practical side of the course. So at the end of the course, he did his final exams, both written and practical, and then waited for the results. When he got his results back, he looked at them and found something odd, so he went back to see the lecturer. So he said to the lecturer, I can't understand one of my results. I've received 100% for the written exam, but I've got 150% for the practical. So you've got to wonder whether or not I'd done the marking with my mathematical ability. How can that be? Well, said the lecturer, the practical was divided into two parts. Don't forget he's a gynecologist. Firstly, there was 50% for stripping down the engine, for which you receive full marks. Then there was 50% for the reassembly, which you also received full marks for the excellent job that you did. Then I gave you a bonus of 50% because you did the entire job through the exhaust pipe. I know, I'm easily pleased. I thought it was right funny. You might not agree with me. I sat and looked at it and I went, I don't get that. And then I thought, gynecologist exhaust pipe. I think it all became clear. Yeah, I told you she's a very, very fine purveyor of funny jokes. Right, on to something slightly more grown up. Our lovely friend Christine, this is Christine with a K, it's not Christine that keeps falling over, sent me an email as well, and she said that she's just been trying to find an art folder to send some of her artwork. So our Christine with a K, is obviously artist. She can't find it because she's all in disarray. We can't find anything in here, Christine. Let's put it this way. If I disappeared, they'd never find anything again because there's only me who knows where anything is. So she's painted more than 40 years ago a scalloped plate with enamel paint, and she's got it hung on her wall right now. So she sent me a picture of this plate, and I have to say, I looked at the picture before I read the email, and I thought this was very good. So I've got my iPad. So this is what she'd actually painted. So Christine's done this all herself, and I think that's lovely. In fact, the first thing it put me in mind of, can you remember in the late 70s, early 80s, there were some cartoons called Love Is, and there were like a little girl that looked very much like that. And the other thing that it reminded me of from my childhood is Holly Hobby. But I thought it was something that she'd kind of bought that had been produced commercially. So I thought that was very good, that Christine. I think that's very good. I think that deserves a clap. Very well done. Very well done. Put that there. Right. So that's this week's genius from Christine, and now we get round to comments from your YouTube. Well, from my YouTube videos that you've written in comments. So the other day, did you see the video that I'd done at Viva? I did actually go on the stage at Viva, which was, well, let's just say it's a good thing I didn't have to perform or sing or dance. I'd have probably fallen off if I'd been dancing. So Cheeky Mark Dodworth says, underneath that one, I'm a bit disappointed, Jane. I thought you were going to put the costume on and give us the full Showgirl experience. Now, at 17, I probably would have had the figure for the full Showgirl experience, but at my senior age, no way. I've eaten too much cake. That's all I can say. I've eaten far too much cake. So after the show trooper caper last week, quite a few of you got in touch to say that you'd really enjoyed it and it had given you a good laugh. And John sent an email which was very nice, and I think I'm going to keep this one and stick it in my book. And John said, you're both great sports and really make our afternoon very enjoyable. I can't imagine life without Brew at 2. So keep up the good work for our Fylde Coast. So thank you ever so much for that, John. I shall endeavour to do my best. And this morning I've put a video online about reefs which we have on the beach at Cleveleys. Yes, you thought you only got reefs in the Caribbean, whatever you want to call it. And posh places like that where they have beautiful crystal clear sea and little fish swimming about and all the rest of it. Well, no, you're wrong, because we have reefs at Cleveleys. They look a little bit different, but reefs nonetheless. Yes, Jane, I thought that. Holly Hobby. Christine's plate. So, they're actually created by worms that are about that big, and I kid not, the reefs on the beach, I'm not very good at dimensions. But let's put it this way, it's a long walk from one end of it to the other, so, and they're very wide, so how these little worms make all that great big reef is a mystery. So Bruce has put a comment on and he says it's a very interesting video. If David Attenborough needs a day off, they know who to call, or just light up the bat signal. Which led me to Magnus Pike. I think I would make a perfect Magnus Pike. Can you remember Magnus Pike, who was always waving his arms about like this when he did? I can't even remember what his specialist subject was, like David Attenborough does. Natural history and sort of environmental stuff and what have you. What did Magnus Pike do? Because all I can remember is his arms continually off like this. And I've often said that if you cut my arms off, I would really struggle to be able to talk, because as you will know, I mean, this is not just for Brew at all, this is what I'm like normally. Physics. Eric says Magnus Pike did physics. Our little group of friends do a Friday morning. We used to meet in real life on a Friday morning, and while we've been in lockdown, we've been doing it over internet. And me and my mum sit on the settee next to one another while we're talking to our friends. So you've got to sort of squash up so that you're all on the screen. And all the time I'm talking, I'm doing this, and she's going like this, trying to dodge, getting her fist in her face. It's really funny. Oh, I found it. I found the comedy station. There you go, Wendy. I'm not that bad. I'm not losing it altogether. So I've got this one down on shoutouts, which obviously is what it is. So if anybody wants birthdays, shoutouts, anything like that, send me an email. My email address is in the description underneath the video. If you're using a phone and you're not quite sure where you're looking, literally right underneath the video there's a little downward arrow, like a little tick. Just click on that and it will expand the description, and it will give you all the bits that you're looking for, the link for the mug and whatnot. So Wendy said when she emailed me that her fiance is the bar manager at the comedy club directly beneath the tower. Can I give the club a mention? They're finally reopening on Friday the 21st of May after a full refurbishment during lockdown. And you can get information on their website, which is blackpoolcomedyclub.com, and you can book online from yesterday, 17th. 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor and Blackpool's best night out. Well-stocked bar, fabulous staff. They need local support after suffering from long closures. So there you go, that's your shout out. Hope I redeemed myself. And poor Wendy, never mind the comedy club, poor Wendy, one of our bats, has been stuck at home for 2 years with a broken leg. Poor Wendy. She says it's not healing up, and she's in constant pain. So you've got all our sympathy, Wendy, and I hope it does start to. We'll send you some of the bat therapy by telepathic communication powers, and see if we can knit those bones together. Send you some voodoo. So, which brings me neatly on to birthdays, the birthday book. I'm a bit more organised today. I did my organising yesterday because I knew I was going to be out this morning. So rather than being on the last foot as usual. So Sue Redcliffe emailed, and I think Sue's with us, aren't you, Sue? I'm sure I saw your name come up somewhere. When I go like that, oh, Laura lost a leg due to chronic pain. Poor Laura. When I go like that, I'm reading the comments as they're coming up. And then eventually, at some point, I might get round to trying that clever thing that connects your computer to your phone to stuff. So, Sue says, unfortunately, last week she had to miss Brew at 2 on the live play, but she's watched it on playback. And T-Boy in training is ever so funny. Hi, Sue. So we're wishing Sue a happy birthday, a belated birthday for the 13th of May. And she's 21. Everybody in our world is 21. So that's happy birthday to Sue. My friend Keith bought me one of T-Boy's framed paintings of the boat tram. It is lovely. It looks wonderful hanging on the wall in my living room. T-Boy is downstairs at the moment with the guillotine. T-Boy is making tags for tote bags. So he said, is this going to be really annoying if I'm doing this every 5 minutes? As he pulled the arm down on the guillotine. Anyway, so next one is a birthday shout out for Alison's husband Gary, and his birthday is on the 26th of May. So obviously Gary is also 21. 21 today. Everybody's 21 in our world. We never get any older. Right, so that's that then. So, couple more jokes from John before we get on to the serious stuff, because we've got some serious stuff to do today. Are you ready? Russ says that I said tags for toe rags. I've got hay fever. You ought to have heard me this morning. I was sneezing and sneezing and sneezing, and I said to my mum, I think I've got hay fever. She says, well, funnily enough, Muffin's nose were running yesterday. That's the dog. He also has hay fever, would you believe? So this morning when I got up, I just kept sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. I thought, if I go into Cleveleys town centre and I start sneezing, everybody's going to be going, COVID. Speaking of COVID, I want to know something funny. When my husband and I, because obviously we are in a qualifying age range, when we booked our original COVID vaccinations, I got a text from the doctors for mine on my phone. So I booked mine that way through them. Husband didn't get a text, so he booked his on the NHS website, and he booked both of his at the same time. So he was all, I've booked 2 jabs. I've got my second one already planned in. I think he's having it in June sometime. So the other day when they were on about this Indian variant, and they were saying that they were bringing it forward and doing the second jabs nearer together than the 12 weeks, I said, oh, that might mean that I get my second one before you, Kevin. And he went like that, gave me that stuck in a lemon face. Anyway, I'm telling them the tale about this woman that had been storming out, shouting at me this morning, all indignant, and my eyes were off like this, and Brenda and Keith will be laughing at that point, because when I get mad, I start doing that. My eyes pop out on stalks and my head wobbles about. They're familiar with that look. So I'm telling my family, interspersed with a lot of Anglo-Saxon, I must admit. And then noticed, when I'd started to simmer down again, that I'd got a text on my phone, and it was another one from the doctors. So I've just, before I came on air, I've just booked my second jab. So I'm having my second jab next Tuesday morning. Next Tuesday, I say, Kevin. Next Tuesday morning at 20 to 11, I think it is. So I'll get mine before it. And I felt right washed out with my first one. I felt really, really tired. I didn't feel poorly as such, just really washed out. So if I feel washed out next week, I'm having some time off. I'm having a rest, I've decided. So good luck to everybody that's having jab 2. See some of you putting your things up to say that you've got them booked. Interestingly, most of my friends had jab 1 and felt awful, but when they had jab 2 they were fine. So I think there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just which way the wind's blowing on the day that you managed to turn up for it. I was going cold quick today. It must be because it's not in the brew at 2 cup. So that's today's one-upmanship over the husband. So why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Because it's pointless. I saw a bloke chatting up a cheater. I thought, he's trying to pull a fast one. Right, Laura's going to miss the good bit. She's just said that she's leaving, and the offspring have turned up, so she's leaving us. So the Batmap. I've noticed that Buster Vane is with us, because I've seen some comments coming up. Now Buster, tell me, that's not your real name, is it? Or is it? I mean, people think I'm called Jane Rabbit. As far as that goes, they think it's my my surname. So come on, Buster, what's your proper name? You're among friends now. You can tell us what you're actually called. I'm waiting for Buster to confess to his name. Mex? Is Eric, are you telling me what Buster Vane is called? It's your stage name. You see, I thought of Buster Blood Vessel from oh, go on. It wasn't Madness. It was oh, what did they call him? Bad Manners. That was it. Bad Manners. Yeah, it came to me, John, just as you were typing it. That was the first thing I thought. The reason that I'm asking Buster Vane what his name is, and I'm assuming Buster Vane is a man, because Buster Vane is the newest recruit to the Batmap. So where's my little sticky thing? So there's Buster, you see? Buster from Accrington. So we're going to stick Buster on the Batmap, because Buster is now the proud owner of a Brew at 2 mug. So if anybody else, I'll put you at this sound, and because it colour coordinates a bit better to pink, I think. If anybody else wants to be on the Batmap and wants, oh God, I've not even got the strength to stick a pin in a piece of cardboard. Once, there you go, Buster, you're on the map. Buster Bat, yeah, you could change your name to Buster Bat. You're on the map. If anybody else wants to go on the map, we've got to 5 up here, and we're down in Brighton with this one down here. So there you go. So all we need now is some Devon and Cornwall. We've got Ireland, so we are spreading all over. If you buy a Brew at 2 cup, all joking apart, anything that's donation wise or cup wise or anything like that, it all goes into making new content, because we, believe it or not, we are a little tiny business, and we are limited to us 3 plus Chrissy, and we don't get any funding from anybody. As I explained to the woman this morning who was having a go at me in Cleveleys, she'll not do it again after the mouthful she got back. I won't mind, but I never lose my temper. I'm usually very, I get agitated, but I don't lose my temper. Rise above it, maintain the moral high ground. Right. So, are you ready? Are you ready for the finale? Right, last week we did Fizz Whiz, which was quite funny in itself, because those of us that are of a certain age will remember space dust, which I'm not quite sure how it works, but you put it in your mouth and it kind of explodes. It's still the same colour, it's green. It sort of explodes. So this is super loud space dust. So last week there was I, sat there with my mouth practically open for you to hear the sound effects. In my head, it was deafening. It was really, really loud. I don't think it came across quite as loud as it sounded to me, but it was loud, so I'm going, can you hear it? Like this. When Show Trooper comes upstairs, well, talk about laugh, I nearly choked on my space dust. So where shall we put this on the sourometer? Well, it wasn't really sour, but it was a bit of an experience, so I think we'll put that kind of somewhere there. Now I need a pin. Where's my pins? Ooh! I just dropped the mega sours. Where's my pins? There. So I think we'll put that there, because I can't say it was a particularly pleasant experience. So we'll put that there. So the thing I've just dropped is Jane Kelt's Barrett's Mega Sours. Barnett's, Barrett's, whoever they are, they're awful. They were minging. I mean, they are still, I believe, on the Brew at 2 playlist. It says featuring sour sweets. You need to have a look at that, because they were disgusting. So, we still have, don't forget, we still have the sour apples. And I can't quite remember who it was. I think it was Mark sent a donation to buy some sour apples. And I actually got some in the sweet shop at Affinity. So that takes us neatly onto a parcel I got through the post. I'm going to cover the address up. It's not, I don't have a problem with you guys in the address, but you never know who's watching, do you? So this came all the way from Canada, would you believe? And this is from Sue Miles. Now I tried to tag Sue Miles in the picture and then realised I put an E on the end of a name, and there's not an E on the end of a name. So this has come from Sue, and I love getting parcels in the post. I'm terrible, I'm a very big child. So this came last Tuesday after we'd done Brew at 2. So I said that I would save it and I would open it live on air. So are you ready? You can see it's not been opened. It's not been opened at all the way from Canada. And this is something for Brew at 2, I believe. So let's open it and see what she sent me. My mum, when it came, they were all like this, looking at it on the dining table. What's that? I said, I know what that is. I said, I'm not opening it now. I said, you'll have to wait until next week. And Chrissy said, oh, she said, I want to know what's in it. I said, you can watch it back. You ready? If it goes bang, well, I don't think it'll go bang, because then there'd be no more Brew at 2, would there? And I know she'll watch us, so I don't think she'd do that to herself, would she? Let's open it up and see what's in it. Let's see what you could have won. Are you ready? Oh, isn't that nice? And do you know, I'm such a kid. Such a kid. So she sent me a card. Here it comes. I've just been telling him about me. My jab.
Oh. Which means that she can go shopping while I've got to stay inside and isolate.
Yeah, that's it. No. I've had that donkey's years, and that dates back. In fact, that was one of the very first things I bought when we started the business, and I bought that in the old days when everything came by post and we used to get a lot of post.
It's also,
So it must be about 30 years old, that.
it's also the only reason I behave myself.
Yes, exactly. It also serves as a very good weapon for stabbing people. Should have had it with me this morning. Stab that woman. Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you, card. So she says, "Hi Jane, I hope you and your gang are all okay. This is just to say thank you for all your lovely videos and the brew it too. So here are a few sour sweeties from Canada for your sour sweetie challenge. I hope they are okay." That's lovely. I shall put that in my book. I keep all that kind of thing. Oh, look at these. These are fancy. Ring pops. We're not doing these today. We're going to save these. With big flashy gems and an intense sour punch. Rock your ring pop and own the spotlight with ring pop sours. And of course the benefit of that is that you can wear it when you're finished. I could put that on the other end, couldn't I? They look nice. Oh, look at these. Sour beans. Oh. Grape, cherry, blueberry, watermelon. They look. I can feel. Do you do that thing when I look at a jar of piccalilli? Are you ready? When I look at a jar of piccalilli, I can feel. In fact, I'm doing it, thinking about it. You can feel that kind of feeling, can't you? That you get when you eat that kind of thing, and you kind of go, oh. But it's nice. Does that make sense? Anyway, I think we've all established that there's a good reason why we're called bats. There's a good reason why we're called bats. So that's from So. We'll do that another day. Because what I'm kind of thinking, you see, is what I'm thinking is that we'll do a really nasty one and then interspace it with something that we're expecting not to be quite as bad, because frankly the thought of doing two really bad ones 2 weeks on the trot does nothing for me. I might be a good sport, but that's pushing it too far. Right, are you ready? Well, no, I'm not. I think you can tell I'm not putting my bilious face on. Right, toxic waste. It says on the packet, I've never had any of this. I've seen it in the shops and just assumed that it was sort of a marketing ploy, and it's not actually as bad as... Can you hear him laughing? I just assumed that it's just sweets, you know. Never occurred to me that it really would be toxic. And it says on the box, caution, consuming more than one piece at a time may cause irritation to the mouth. Sensitive individuals should not consume this product. God, what's in it? It's mean. Right. Are we ready? Made in Indianapolis. Wow. Distributed from a company in Wirral. Right. I'll get my trusty scissors and we'll cut the... You see, I've not opened that either. I'm doing it all legitimately.
You think you ought to do your mantra first and then...
Yeah, what kind of face am I going to pull when I get to the swan song? I'm not quite sure though. I think I've done a bit of a faux pas here, haven't I? Because how am I going to fasten that onto the thing? I've never even seen this. I don't even know how to get top off. How do you get in it? Ooh, it's not very. Get me letter knife. Get me a letter knife to it and see if that does it. Oh yeah, here we go. Can you hear my nose running? It'll be running when I've eaten these. Right, so we've got a green apple. That's apple. We've got a green one. We've got black cherry. Oh, that sounds, I think, can I do black cherry? We've got little bags, little packets. So what can I do with the rest of them then when they're left? Watermelon. Blue raspberry. I tell you what we could do. We could perhaps try some of the other flavours some other days. Lemon. Oh. There's loads in. Just look how many are in it. There's a stack. Black cherry? Shall we go for black cherry? Shall we go for black cherry? Right, we'll do black cherry. Oh, I can stick the packet on, can't I? I can stick the packet on the sourometer. That's what I can do. Oh, here we come. Are you coming to watch this?
What's this?
I bet he's heard me. Listen at T-Boy. Listen at T-Boy on his way. Just look at this. I bet you've come up here deliberately, haven't you, to watch me do
this?
this?
Have a laugh. Good afternoon, everybody.
I don't know.
I'm busy guillotining.
Yes, I've told them you were in the kitchen with the guillotine.
Still got 10 fingers.
Smells all right.
Well done.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Packets, you see, I'm not fibbing, it is the sweet.
Where's this one from?
Top shape waist. Oh God, they are.
This could be the last brew at 2, so enjoy it.
Oh, they're awful. They're like,
Careful what you say.
I don't think they're quite as bad as mega sours. Oh dear me.
Just been enjoying a lovely piece of cake that we had at dinner time, and just what's yours like?
Mm.
Mm. In fact, I tell you what, dear. There you go.
They're not as bad as these. It's that outside coating on it. When you get past that, they're not bad. Perhaps what you need to do is unwrap them all and wash them. Oh, I thought my tongue had gone all purple, but it's not, is it? Oh, the sweet inside is actually quite nice. Yeah, I can feel myself going hot actually. Oh, goodness me. I'm having a dab. Oh, lemon will be worse. Shall we put lemon on the list for another day? Lordy gordy. They're not bad actually when you get into it. Yes, we'll make Kevin have a go.
Yeah, but it said not sensitive people.
Oh dear me. I'll do a lemon one day and then we'll make him eat one. We'll hold his nose and push it in. Because it's a torment. Actually, sweet in middle's not bad at all. Oh, I think they go down there near the bottom. Bye, Russ. Oh dear me. I've lost my poem. I've lost it again. We go through this rigmarole every week, don't we, where I can't find my poem. What have I done with my poem? Oh. It's definitely not as bad as that mega sour. They were something else then. They were disgusting. Right, are you ready? It's time for the grand finale. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realised I'd passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel around the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic, quick, and get the world infected. See you next week. Bye!